Buying a new foundation became hectic for me because before stuff was simple, or they were oil based or they were water based. I knew what they were all about. Whereas now things are completely different. And if you want to understand foundations, you actually need to be a chemist, like a rocket scientist or whatever, because it's hard. It's hard. You need to study that stuff. Therefore, I was thinking, how can I understand foundations? What kind of knowledge do I need to have that I'll understand what foundation to buy? And stuff's actually quite simple. First thing that you need to know about foundations, and a thing that surprised me a couple of months ago, is that there are actually no oil-based or water-based foundations anymore. Everything's pretty much silicone-based. And I know that girls are like, oh, I don't want silicone clog spores, whereas silicone is an incredible thing. Silicone is actually a really moisturizing substance because, for example, I use a lot of Pericone. You've seen Pericone in my videos, and I love it. It's by far my favorite foundation. It's very dewy but also very hydrating, and that's what silicone can do. So not all silicones, meticone or whatever, everything that finishes with cone might be something similar to a silicone, right? Not all of them are bad, but it also, like, if I would say this one is bad and this one is not, it doesn't work like this, because you might get your pores clogged not because of the silicone but because of the other stuff that's in a foundation. Second thing you need to know about foundations is what is the main ingredient that covers your face. And you have foundations that contain opaque fillers. One opaque filler might be talc powder. And there's a lot of foundations with talc powder. I think, I'm not so sure, but I'm pretty positive that it's Estee Lauder, Double Wear, then you have MAC Studio FX, NARS Sheer Glow. It's pretty much all the thick foundations that really cover your skin, and girls are so amazed by them, especially now on YouTube. You see it a lot, and caking it up. The problem of these is that it's cool, they absorb water, they absorb oil, but when they get full, when they cannot, when this talc powder can't absorb more, it just slides off the face. So the foundation is like gone, and it cakes up totally, so it looks ugly. And it's also very drying because these foundations are meant to last, right? So if it lasts on your skin, that your skin is not that oily and it won't slide off, you'll wear it for a whole day. But I've seen girls wearing these foundations for years that completely ruin their skin. And I know there's a lot of you Chico Bellas that had the same experience. So write it down there that we prove other viewers that this can be really bad. So caking up a lot of thick foundation can be too drying for the skin because it just breaks your collagen, and your skin gets far more sensitive, starts breaking out, which doesn't mean that these foundations are bad, because they can look really good for photo shoots, for some nights out. This is cool, that thick coverage that just covers you is good. And also there's one problem, because you girls are like, oh, why my foundation changed color. Yeah, if it has opaque fillers, like for example talc powder, it will change color because it will oxidize when it's full. When it can't absorb more oil and water, changes color, and it can go 2 shades darker as well. So there's other opaque fillers that, for example, Ilamasqua uses rice starch, which shouldn't clog pores. That's very thick as well, and I think it's a good foundation. You don't need to wear it a lot, you can put a small amount of foundation on. Then you have, for example, Canibo uses silk. So these are thick things that will just cover your face. Third thing you need to know about foundations is foundations that are mineral based. So let's recap. You have all the foundations are silicone based pretty much, yeah. And then you have foundations that are thick, that have talc powder, that have rice starch as a filler, or silk, which is very premium. And then you have foundations which are mineral based, right? Mineral means that it's pretty much just a very grinded powder. So you can take talc powder and just grind it totally like therefore it won't clog your pores that much usually. This is not an answer. You know, you can't get an answer that I'll just say, listen, buy this foundation, this is perfect for your skin, because I also, as a makeup artist, I can make a mistake. Skin is a vivid thing, and it reacts differently throughout time. Therefore, I'm actually giving you knowledge that you'll be able to understand. So let's stay with these mineral based foundations. They are thinner. Of course, then they'll also slide off faster because basically they're pretty much made of powder, and it's just a very grinded powder. They can stay on also longer, but this is it. You get that smooth finish, and they're not that drying usually as foundations with thick opaque fillers. Fourth thing you need to know about foundations is that there are foundations which are pigment based. So these can be BB creams. BB creams usually are foundations that contain just pigment. Imagine it like painting your face. You don't put some fillers on that would sculpt it like you would put mud, yeah, and just sculpt your face. You just paint it with color, and they won't slide off that fast. That's why you girls from hot countries are writing, oh, I just use a BB cream and it stays on for a whole day, whereas if I use a thick foundations, they just slide off. This is how it is, you know. You can't have everything in one go, even though foundations are getting better and better. And I think also this theory that I explain now, this is how I see it, will change drastically throughout the next years, because now that everyone's playing with silicones, things are getting completely different. And I actually think that we have a lot of good foundations on the market. Fifth thing you need to know about foundations is that foundations won't change your life, because you can cake it up like there is no tomorrow. You still won't look like all these girls on YouTube, because stuff just doesn't work like this. You have real life and you have something that looks good on camera. And dry foundations, these thick foundations, look awesome on the camera. They look amazing because they're matte, so you can draw all the lines. Whereas in real life, you look pretty much dead or just weird with some mud on the cheek down. There's a bonus for you as well. One more thing that I can tell you about foundations. If you have dry skin, just don't go for these thick foundations. They're too dry for you. I heard girls mixing them with a bit of oil and just, you know, putting one pump over. That's a cool idea actually. But usually if you have a dry skin, I would put silicone primer over. So silicone based primers are cool for you with dry skin, not for you with oily and acne prone. And then put thicker foundation over, but don't put a lot of it, and it will stay a whole day. It will be beautiful. If foundation goes in creases, if it stays here, it means that you have skin that is a bit too dry, or you have skin that is very oily and it's just the foundation is not compatible. But usually if foundation stays in creases, it means that it's a foundation that has a lot of opaque fillers, because that's what stays in a crease, especially like when you smile and stuff, you know, you get these mimic creases here and foundation just sucks in. If you have acne prone skin, the best idea from my opinion is that using BB creams. I would use a BB cream. If I would have acne, and I had them as well, BB creams stay on for a long time, and in the middle of a day, if it washed off, you can just still go over a bit. Wash your hands nicely and put it over. Don't use that brush that you keep in a bag for a whole freaking week. You haven't cleaned it. It's very hard to clean the brush as well. It's very hard, you know. You need to clean it all the time, each time you apply foundation, and then you need to disinfect it as well. So usually girls who apply foundation all the time get more and more acne, not because a foundation would clog pores, that as well obviously, but usually because they're using a brush that is contaminated with all the bacteria, because it's just hard to clean it that much. You need to do it all the time and disinfect it and la la la. Hope this video helped. Stay tuned because I'll soon launch that video makeup tutorial system on my website, and I really want you to, you know, evaluate it, that we see how it goes, that we make a properly cool algorithm that will help women around the world. Stay tuned and imejte se lepo, vse dobro, adijo, čau čau.